everybody. Welcome to this edition of ZoeTV. Today, you're going to enjoy some recipes from Lish.
Smells good.
I know it. Yes, I can. And it's one of your favorites.
It is.
So you're going to enjoy that. And then we've got a pillar profile from Barb Cunningham. So be looking forward to that. And then we're going to also talk to one of our residents, Michael Bowes, and talk a little bit about what his journey has been like here going through Zoe Life, what it's done for him with his Parkinson's, that type of thing. And so we're going to get some tips from Steve as well for things that you can do in your apartment and at home. So
right.
It's a great show today.
Yeah, we're super excited. I think who we have on this show today works together so well, because with Mike being just moved on to campus,
That's right.
and says, you know what, I'm going all in Zoe Life for Parkinson's, and I'm going to eat better, and I'm going to feel better, I'm going to do life differently than what I'm used to, and then have Barb kind of piggyback on that with gut health and kind of all those things.
Talks a little bit about the things we have going on right now.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So enjoy.
Hello everyone, I'm Lish Vasquez and I'm the Dining Services Director at Glencroft Center for Modern Aging, and today we're going to be making chicken satay with peanut sauce, sauteed zucchini, and steamed quinoa kale blend. So what we're going to start off with is our peanut sauce. Going to take a little bit of chicken broth, creamy peanut butter, which you can also use chunky, some honey, a little bit of sriracha for heat. Now you can put as little or as much as you want of that in there. It's completely up to your spice level. And just a little pinch of ginger. Now ginger, it's one of those spices that's actually one of the healthiest on the planet. It actually helps with nausea and digestive issues. We're gonna kind of mix that around, get that a head start before I add any more ingredients to it. Help that peanut butter along. So it's gonna look weird at first, but don't worry, that peanut butter will eventually blend with all the ingredients like that. That is the consistency you want. You're going to add a little cilantro in that. And a little bit of minced garlic. And lime juice. Mix those all together. And there you have it. That is your classic low-calorie peanut Thai sauce, homemade, just like that. Now we have already skewered chicken thigh meat. And if you want to use breast, totally fine, you can use breast. We actually marinate it prior to the show. So we actually did it in about a tablespoon of sesame oil, half tablespoon of low sodium soy sauce, and then just throw a little minced garlic in there, about a half teaspoon. Let that set for at least a half hour. I have our zucchini. I usually will cut the zucchini in half and then do half moons. That's the preferred way I like to cut it, but any way is fine. Sliced, whole, rounds, all fine. It's all gonna taste the same. Put that in there. Let that start cooking. Throw these chickens right on here like this. Now the thing about sauteing these chicken skewers is you gotta have a lot of patience, because you wanna move them, but you shouldn't. You need to let them get their color. Otherwise, you'll ruin it and they stay pale and they stick. Just let them do their thing. Now the zucchini, on the other hand, go ahead and move it around. Now you're gonna wanna try to get a little bit of color on it. So just moving it around a little bit, letting it set, letting it cook, let it get its thing going is fine. And while those are cooking, I'm gonna talk about the kale quinoa blend. This is actually pre-ahead steamed quinoa. You just follow your package instructions on your quinoa box. And what I did is we julienned kale and fresh shredded carrot. And you can add any kind of vegetables you want inside that. It's totally versatile. And the cool thing about quinoa is it's gluten-free, and compared to white rice, it actually has less calories and less carbs. See, there we go. Got a nice color on those chickies. I was patient enough. Ooh, it smells good. I'm gonna give my zucchini a stir while the chickens are finishing up on the other side. See, we got a little color on the zucchini. That's exactly what you want. In this recipe, do not be afraid of color. Be afraid of burning. Don't want black. We're gonna go ahead and shut that heat off. Let that sit. I will go ahead and plate our sauteed zucchini along with our steamed quinoa. Just like that. Went ahead and put our peanut sauce in a little ramekin. Put that right on the side there for dipping. Chicken is almost ready. You want to make sure you get it to about 165. Fully cooked through. Okay, we're going to go ahead and plate this up. Alongside this. Okay. Garnish with a little bit of cilantro all over like that. And some fresh lime to bring out the flavor. And there you have it. That is the chicken satay with peanut sauce. I'm Liz Vasquez, and reminding you that eating healthy can taste good. Happy cooking.
Okay guys, today's fitness tip is one I'm super excited about. It's an easy exercise for you to perform at your house, in your bed, on the couch, whatever you can get down flat on. Now, Tom is back with us again today, and he actually performs these exercises on the ground. Now, for some of you guys getting on and off the ground, not a problem. If you can do it and you can get on the ground in your place, even better, because we've got a flat surface and some room to work. But like I said, if you have to do it in bed, it's not the end of the world. This exercise that we're going with first is called arm stretch number 1. Not the most creative name, but it's super effective, okay? What we're looking for from Tom and you at home is to lay on your side, have your knees bent, okay? So you guys can kind of see this angle right here. This is critical for me to develop some mobility with your upper spine, okay? So we're trying to get some mobility and movement around that mid-thoracic region in your back, down low, and then some big time stretches for your upper back and shoulders and chest. So the idea is this nice knee bend, critical, okay? I don't want those legs straight, and I don't want these knees way up in the chest. I want them right like this. Now you can see Tom's doing it perfect. These arms are extended out, palms together. Now what I want you guys to do at home is work on this arm comes up, it's gonna bend naturally, okay? It's almost like you're turning right and you're riding a bike, and you're rotating that chest as far to the ceiling as I can get. So this right here, if I hold this down and push Tom right here, I've got a lot of stretch going on for him, okay? Now at home, you don't have somebody holding these, that's okay. Just don't let these guys budge too much and just turn away from those hips. So you're trying to get some torque from your lower body not moving and this upper body twisting against it. And you're gonna hold that for a couple seconds, and then you're gonna bring it back. Palms together, kind of blow that air out. So bring it up, do it again. So bend it, nice, big turn, and your neck can rotate a little. You can just turn and then bring it back, blow that air out. So we'd obviously do that on both sides. We try to get Tom and our residents down here in the Performance Center doing about 2 sets of 10 to 3 sets of 10. They would usually do 10 or so, then they'd flip over to the other side and try to balance it out. Okay, so arm stretch number 1, again, critical for developing good posture, range of motion, your flexibility of your upper back, and a lot of stuff in your low back as well. So we're a big fan of that one. Now, arm stretch number 2, similar position, so you're laying either in your bed or on the ground or wherever you can get comfortable. And I'm gonna switch one thing up here with Tom. Tom, go ahead and straighten your legs out. Good. Now, this is where you need a little room. I like to take this top leg and I sweep it across, all right, where I've got a little bit of tension on that outer hip. So when I bring this over like this, we have the ability to really lock in that lower half. His arms look great. So this is kind of going about the same angle as that leg. Okay, now what I'm gonna tell Tom to do is, Tom, go ahead and bring that arm up, but this time I don't want him to bend it. I want it to turn. Now rotate that chest, go as far as you can, and once you reach that point, now bring the other one up. Okay, elbows straight, and now, if you guys see how flexible he is, okay, that's a big move. To be able to get this bottom hand up this high, this one stays over by the ground, there's a lot of action going on right here. This one goes down first, that one comes down second, and he's breathing on the way out. Okay, do it again. So he's gonna bring it up, big turn, hold that stretch. Now bring the other one up, elbows are straight, hold, 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 core is engaged. Drop it down, blowing that air out. That's arm stretch number 2. So we do the same thing. 1 set of 10, 2 set of 10, 3 sets of 10. But when we combine arm stretch 1, then right into arm stretch 2, we have got a lot of action to help with your ability to be supple in your back and be able to pick stuff off the counter, put it over here. Your functional daily lives will be changed for the better when incorporating this type of work. We'll see you next week.
Oh, well, we have Barb Cunningham here with us today, and I'm really excited because this week I started the ZoeLife training program. And Monday, we had our first lecture with Barb talking about the ZoeLife diet and everything that we should be eating and doing, more through a plant-based type of Mediterranean diet. And so in the next 2 weeks, she's gonna talk to us a little bit about gut health and how the diet and gut health kind of interrelate with one another. So I just want her to give us a little bit of a preview with regards to, how they work together, how do they interrelate with one another?
Okay, well, the gut is a huge piece of your healthy physical health.
Immune system too.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I do the lecture, it's easier if you can relate it to a pot of flowers, because we all have a nice variety, and we like to have a nice variety of flowers, and we like to take care of them, and you feed them, and you do everything to make them grow and be beautiful. Well, inside your gut, which is basically from your mouth to the exit, is just like that. It's a variety. You have more bacteria DNA than you have human DNA. So we need to feed it. We need to feed it, because what they're discovering is those bacteria communicate with your brain, and they do a lot for our emotions and everything like that. There's so much tied to it. So we need to feed it good stuff. And what's nice is the Zoe diet just aligns very lovely with the things that they encourage people to eat to feed the good bacteria. More plants, more water, less sugar. Sugar is a gut bacteria killer. We'll talk a little bit about antibiotics and how that affects your gut bacteria. But I think it's something that we really don't think about, and it's a relatively new science. So it's coming to the forefront. It's a lot of information. There's a lot, but eating more plants is definitely a better way to feed your gut bacteria. Let everything the Zoe diet actually embraces, the beans, the nuts, the fruits, the vegetables, the less meat, all feed your gut bacteria. And the gut bacteria plays a big role in your overall health. So that's what it'll be about. I'm gonna do it for the residents too on November 20th. I don't know when this airs, but at 1 o'clock in the university room on November 20th.
Do you guys dive into any of the probiotic talks with the gut?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll talk a little bit about probiotics and prebiotics. Prebiotics are the food for probiotics. And we'll talk a little bit about what to look for when you're buying a probiotic, because probiotics are relatively new, some supplement that we buy. And there's a million of them if you've ever gone to buy one.
Yeah, there is.
So there's a few things to look for when you're buying probiotics, but there's also something called prebiotics, and those are things that we can eat. So you can also buy prebiotics, but prebiotics are more things that we can control. And so we'll talk about that.
Good.
That's very cool. Well, we just started beta over at Providence Place this last week, and we're ongoing now for the next 6 weeks. So as we've ramped up to that, you and I spent a lot of time together in the boardroom and planning and strategic planning for Providence Place. And what I found very interesting last week when we talked was you just went on a trip and took part in a seminar on healthy eating and all. Tell everybody about kind of your interpretation of what's out there in the marketplace and what we're doing that's kind of paralleling that.
Well, it was really exciting because the keynote speaker at this National Nutrition Conference got up and he had 6 pillars. They weren't exactly our 6 pillars, but many of them were. They were the physical, so the exercise, and the eating was a big deal. He's from the lifestyle, it's called lifestyle as medicine is what it's called. And he was just talking about how lifestyle is such a big, important part and how eating is a really important part. But what was exciting to me was that this was a national nutrition conference talking about the future of medicine, and it embodied most of our pillars. There was a couple extras that he had that didn't fit in with our scenario here, but one of them was emotional and the connectedness with people, eating, the physical. So we're really on the cutting edge, and it was really super exciting.
Are you sitting there with goosebumps like we're doing what they're saying?
Yes,
I think I know when we go to conference, we hear this story in the narrative nationally.
Yeah.
But people are trying to figure out how to execute it, and we're like, we figured it out.
Yeah.
So life. And
We went to one that had the exact same pillars, but they added 2 more, and that was financial and environmental.
Oh, yeah.
And so I thought that was really interesting too, because that definitely affects your health.
Absolutely. So going back to Providence Place, tell me, so we've got 10 now residents that are engaged in beta over there. How do you see them from a nutritional standpoint? Because you're able to kind of hold their hand a little bit more in that environment, right?
Yeah.
So do you think it's going to be easier or harder than what we did here with beta 1 through 4 in the IL side?
Well, actually, in some ways, I think it'll be easier because the food is all prepared for them, and we have tailored the week at a glance in so many ways to embody the Zoe plan, because we're encouraging everybody to have one meatless meal a day. And they can do that at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Our week at a glance has the meatless meals, at least. Well, breakfast, they can always have a meatless meal. Lunch and dinner, they have choices. We're encouraging people to eat more vegetables. We have 2 vegetables choices at lunch, and then 1 at dinner. They can have a salad. So in a lot of ways, I'm actually have more hands-on with them. My office is there. They can come by. I can help them fill out their menus. And also, I'm having a fresh fruit put on their tray every single meal. I can't control whether they eat it, but it's there. So it's kind of exciting in that way because I do have a little bit more control. I can't force anybody to eat anything.
And you're meeting in small groups with them, so they get some direction and ask questions and all that.
And I've offered my services to help them fill out the menu. So it's kind of fun, and I know them very well.
Yes.
And I can kind of.
Well, what's great with them is we did.
I say, did you eat your vegetables today?
Randy and I sat down with each of them last week to determine goals. And all of them, to a T, said that weight loss was one of their goals. And they know they got to play nice with you. And they know they all have their own little environment they like to eat in. But they all are willing to put some effort in on it. So I'm hoping
I was
that we
very
get.
encouraged.
That's very cool. Good.
Good. Thank you so much for
welcome.
being here. This was great. We really enjoy having you part of ZoeTV. So
Okay.
thank
good.
you, Barb.
Welcome to this week's resident success story. And we are so lucky to have with us Mike Bose.
Yeah.
Mike, when did you come on campus? How long you been here?
Since June this year.
June of this year?
Yes.
So Mike was a part of Beta 3, and he has been one of our figures. I think if you walk down there at any time during the morning rush, in the Performance Center, you're gonna find Mike on a machine.
That's right, and he just got through telling us before we went on air that because of ZoeLife, he is in so much better shape than he was, and if he hadn't been a part of ZoeLife, he probably would not be here right now.
Right.
So why don't you, Mike, tell us a little bit about your background, how you got to Glencroft, and then we'll kind of talk through the little bit of ZoeLife.
I got to Glencroft because my daughter insisted I come here. Matter of fact, she said that this is where I should be, and she liked the athletic program, and she knew of this guy because of where he was before, over at Carolyn.
Yeah.
And so, because of her, I'm here. And she also wanted me to quit flying airplanes. So I'm here for that reason.
You were a pilot for a long time, right?
Yes. When
When did you start flying?
I was 15 years old.
15.
Wow.
How old are you?
I'm 79.
It's a long
Oh
time
my
in
goodness.
here. So what branch of military were you flying in?
Air Force.
Air Force.
Yes.
Very cool. And so out of the Air Force, tell us a little bit about your background in business. What was your...
Okay, out of the Air Force, went to work for J.I. Case Company as a pilot, matter of fact. J.I. Case was owned by Tennessee Valley Systems, and I went to work for them. They had the largest aircraft fleet in the country. So I went to work for them thinking I'd get assignment like Kern County Land Bank, California, someplace. I ended up in Wisconsin, Racine, Wisconsin, which was very cold, and I flew for a year and decided I didn't want to do that the rest of my life. So I traveled the world, and flying equipment ended up in Holland, lived in The Hague, and I went to France. I lived in France for a couple of years.
So you've been around the world.
Yeah.
A lot. And then you ended up in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
So what brought you over to Arizona and specifically Scottsdale?
I left Caterpillar after a few years. Went to work for Matsu Mining Systems. Matsu's second, they're number 2 to Caterpillar in the world. Anyway, I was executive vice president of the company worldwide, and our largest distributor was based in Phoenix, Road Machinery Company.
So tell me this, so you moved to Scottsdale, your daughter got you over here.
Yes.
And you are among many on the campus that battle with Parkinson's.
Yes.
Right? So when did you get diagnosed with Parkinson's?
In 2010.
2010, so 2010 and all the way till a couple years ago, you dealt with it and you did life still ongoing, and you were moving and doing your motorcycles and all your cars and all. But in the last couple of years, it's really kind of taken a hold on you.
Yes, it
correct? Tell us from your experience with ZoeLife and the Performance Center, how it's impacted your Parkinson's and your ability to come down and at least work on. I know it's a hard thing you're going through from a physical standpoint, a mental standpoint, but I think what we've done together is giving you a resource to at least come down and work and have an outlet to at least try to maintain certain levels of movement and speech.
If I didn't have this to come to every morning, I'd be a basket case right now. I probably couldn't talk, probably couldn't walk, probably couldn't move. And coming down here is you stretching me out, and flexibility is improved, and when I'm walking, it's improved. My stir steps have declined somewhat, and it's been worthwhile for me.
Yeah, I think
It's wonderful.
You know, Mike's one of these cases, and we have so much Parkinson's on this campus.
We do,
and
yes.
so he's almost in a beta test of his own with our Parkinson's of, okay, how can we figure out how to immerse Parkinson's into Zoe, create this movement program, create this atmosphere where you can immerse and come down and work on it. And like Mike said, our attention for him is really dove hard into the flexibility. And to him, it's like we stretch every day and we do a lot of hands-on stretching and we do some unique tools that we get some blood flow. And he gets looser. It's like, wow, I feel good. And the next day it's back to being tight again. Yeah. And that's the hard part of this gig, but it's that idea of coming down and working on it every day. If you didn't have that resource or this asset that Glencroft has, it'd be hard.
You're staying ahead of the decline.
Yes.
You know, you're staying ahead. And if you notice something that you feel is an issue, that's something that, you know, can be worked on down here in the Performance Center.
Right.
So.
And I think with somebody like Mike or some of our others that come down, we are really in tune with what they're going through. Instead of having Parkinson's or a chronic illness and you're isolated in your own environment and people aren't aware of some of the difficulties you have. Like, I know if he doesn't get sleep the night before, we're gonna have some issues in the Performance Center, just in terms of just moving, in terms of his shuffling when he does his tones and his turns, right? I was like, I watch him and we're stuck, and then that's part of the part of being stuck. And I said, man, did you sleep? No, I didn't sleep anything last night. And so, but he's got that team around him, right? With Dave and Arlene and our whole ZoeLife team knows what he's going through. And that's what I would implore of our residents that watch it. Like, everybody's going through something. And to be able to have a team around you instead of trying to do it on your own,
makes a big difference. That's what this whole thing's about. Right.
So thanks for coming on, buddy. And we're gonna keep grinding.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. All right.
Mike, thank you. It's great having you.
And we are gonna have another ZoeLife success story next week. It might not build up to the level of this guy's entrepreneurial prowess and his background of flying, but we're gonna have somebody amazing come tell you their story as well. So until then, thank you. Well, that was a good show.
It was a good show this week.
I mean, like I said, having Mike and Barb piggyback on each other, I just think what we're trying to illustrate with ZoeTV is this relationship our team has with our residents.
That's right.
In that no matter what you're dealing with, whether it's Parkinson's or chronic pain or sleep apnea, whatever it is, right? Everybody has something that we're all here for you.
That's right.
That ZoeLife can put their arms around you, and our team is committed to helping you thrive.
And we hope that any of you at home are inspired by several of the residents that we've had on the show. And if you haven't taken part in ZoeLife, give it a try. Just kind of inch your way into it, because honestly, you will see changes and improvements, and your life can be better. So,
well, over the last couple weeks, we've had some amazing residents on, and I'm excited because we have had some phone calls and saying, I want to do what they're doing. I think I can do this. And I think that's testament to what we're trying to do with this show is, you know, show some people that are kind of nervous to come down here that, you know, they don't look that different from some of these others.
And I have to say, as I said earlier, I just started the program this week, and so I'm a little sore today. Not bad at all. It felt great to get out and actually get started in a program again. So, you know, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
I think having the employees come alongside you guys and experience this firsthand, because they're doing the spiritual pillar with Bible study, and they're doing some stuff with Barb like you talked about, and then the workouts and some social activities.
The social activities with Ross.
I think it's important for staff to be touched on by these pillars.
That's right.
So they can say, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it now. I know what they're going through.
Yes, that's right. Cool. It's so true. So
we're excited you're on this journey. And next week, we're going to have amazing pillar profiles, resident success stories, and probably our first celebrity.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise.